Alright, welcome back to Trinity Streets. So in the last video I showed you how to crumb coat your cake. That way you can you won't have crumbs and stuff on your surface. So we did like a crumb coat, which is a seal to lock in the crumbs so they stay in place and they kind of stay in check. So what that is like a really thin coat of icing. Then you pop it in the freezer and then you do your main coat. So now I'm going to show you how to get this buttercream really smooth. So in the previous video I showed you that we used the crusting buttercream, and what a crusting buttercream is, I don't want you to think it's like a crunchy buttercream, but what it is to the touch, like when you touch it on the outside, you can touch it and it won't stick to your fingers, but the inside is still really soft and creamy. You want to use a crusting buttercream because if you use just like an all butter buttercream, or one of the tubs of icing that you can buy in the commissary or in your grocery stores, it doesn't hold up well whenever you're trying to pipe or make any kind of decorations. It's just going to kind of droop all over the place. So you want to use a good crusting buttercream. Alright, so I've let this, I popped this in the freezer so that it can get a nice crust on it for about 10 minutes. So what you're going to do is you're going to use Viva paper towel. I'm telling you, this is like, it's a really smooth paper towel. It doesn't have any design or any ridges or anything like that. This is going to be your best friend when you're working with buttercream. So in Viva, you can't really probably tell on video, but there's like a little bit more textured side, and then there's a side that's a little bit more smooth. So you want to use your side that's a little bit more smooth. You're going to lay it on your cake, and you can either use the palm of your hand, but I'm going to use a fondant smoother. You're just going to take it and lay it on here. I'm going to do one half of the cake. That way you can kind of see the difference. So you're going to take it and use kind of like a medium pressure on there. So now you can kind of see the difference. So like this side is really smooth. This side still has a little bit of ridges and things like that on it. Okay, so that's how you want to get really smooth buttercream. So now I'm just going to lay it on here and do it all the way around. I've seen cake decorators use parchment paper for this, or printing paper, but the only problem with that is it can absorb the moisture from the buttercream, and then the paper will start to stick to your buttercream. So that's why I like to use the Viva paper towel. So once I get it on the side of the cake, I'm just going to put it on the side. Let me see if I can find an edge where you can really see the difference. Okay, like here, you can tell that there's a little bit of a ridge right there. I'm just going to put the paper towel there and then smooth it around. Like I said, you can use the palm of your hand if you don't have a fondant smoother. But pretty much what you just did is you just erased that little ridge. So you end up with really smooth buttercream. So, like I said, I'm a bit of a perfectionist when it comes to smooth buttercream. So you can go over this as many times as you want, but you're just going to go around and around so you kind of get the idea. And this is why it's important to use a crusting buttercream, because if you were to do this on a buttercream that wasn't a nice crusting buttercream, or if you couldn't do this on like if you're using like a tub of store-bought icing, because this paper towel is just going to stick to it and it's not going to smooth it out at all. Okay. Some people use the hot water method, like where you take hot water and you dip your icing spatula in it and you can smooth it. I really don't like using that method with buttercream. It can get a little bit messy. So this is a lot easier. So you just want to take it, and then I'm going to go back around and just kind of smooth my edges out a little bit. You can kind of just go at this at your own, however you want to, however smooth, it depends on how smooth you want your cake. So I kind of like to do my edges a little bit, and then I'll come back around and touch it up just a little bit. Because sometimes whenever you're doing the top of your cake, it can push icing out a little bit towards the edge. Just come back and smooth it around. Like I said, you're using like light pressure. So light pressure, maybe a little bit heavier, just kind of whatever you think is needed. Okay, like I said, I'm a perfectionist, so I'm gonna keep going over this stuff because I see like little air pockets that are in the buttercream, which occur whenever you're whipping your buttercream. And I don't want that to show on the surface of my cake because when I go to decorating, I want a nice, smooth surface. All right. If you wanted some kind of texture, you could use a paper towel that has a little bit of texture. Just depends on what you want. But this is a way to get your buttercream super, super smooth and pretty. So at this point, you can start adding your decorations on top. You can pipe some borders around the side. So in the next video, I'm going to show you how to pipe borders. All right, see you later.